Alicia here on AMaeTV, and we are back again with a third segment from World Travel Tips with Gabriel Morris, also known as Gabriel Traveler. How are you, Gabe?
Hey there, doing good.
Awesome. Now he is a fellow travel vlogger, YouTuber. Link to his channel is below. He's been all around the world, and you make awesome travel videos, and you make them like every day too, which is amazing.
Just about, yep.
I often wonder how you manage to do it, and you're actually going to give my viewers travel video production tips. So what do you have for us? Where do we begin?
So first I thought that I would just show how I managed to get, close-up shots of people, casual encounters, such that people don't know that I'm filming. And so what I do is I have clipped my strap here so that it hangs kind of the perfect length from my chest. So
you kind of look like a dork.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's just kind of the way it works.
Though. It works.
So it may look silly, but you just look like a tourist with a camera around your neck, ready to go, ready to take a picture of something. People don't necessarily know that you are actually filming. And so I will walk around town, checking things out, and then ask people questions and whatnot. And I have the video going and they don't know it. And so that way, you can get those casual encounters, close-up encounters with people without bothering them going like this, which is obvious, like, are you filming me then? What are you doing there? Like this, it's just like I'm hanging out, I'm just asking you a question, I might take a picture sometime, but meanwhile you're actually filming and getting those close encounter interactions with people.
Yeah, and you actually get some really decent footage that way. And while it may seem like the right thing to do, to be like, hey, do you mind if I film you? Most people are like, but the thing is, it's not practical.
That's completely impractical.
You never know if you're going to use the footage. Plus, people lock up when they think they're on camera. They're just like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly certain considerations. Then you might want to ask someone, is it okay that I film you? Yeah. For example, if I go out with a couple of people that I met at the hostel or whatever, traveling, and I'm planning to make a video, in which case I'm going to be, obviously including them in a good chunk of the video. And pointing the camera at them, etc., then I'll, let them know what's going on and be like, are you okay with, being a part of this video I'm shooting? But you just can't go around, ask every person as you're walking down the street, do you mind being in the video? Do you mind being in the video?
Every cab driver.
They probably don't even know what you're talking about. They might not have internet access. They might not speak your language. And so it's just not practical to expect that you're going to have permission from everybody that is going to end up in your videos. That's just the reality of YouTube.
Right.
And then number two is definitely keep your camera steady. And I know that I fail in this regard a lot of the time. My plan is to put a piece of paper taped onto the back here that says keep it steady as a constant reminder. It is just too easy, especially as you're walking, to be going up and down like this, or to be panning without taking extra precaution to try to be as smooth as you possibly can. Now, Alicia here just got a new camera, the DJI Osmo, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Which takes all of that stuff out of the equation for you, in that it stabilizes the camera really well. And so I'm definitely going to be thinking about it myself for the future, because it makes a huge difference to get that nice smooth camera work. But otherwise, just keep it in mind. Try to keep the camera as steady as you can.
But try is definitely the key, because no human really is designed to be able to hold a camera super steady. And the DJI Osmo has a 3-axis gimbal, which is what is in drones. So it's designed to really deal with a lot of motion. So it definitely makes smooth, steady footage. But different lenses and things like that, you can get image stabilization on different lenses, and that helps out with it too. But definitely make the effort any way you can, whether it's through technology or through really just holding your abs and keeping your arms engaged, focused on it.
And then beyond that, it's travel vlogging. It is casual. It is not meant to be top of the line production. And so, just expect that your viewers are going to kind of get that you're on a street in India shooting this whole thing on your own, and you can't get it, perfect movie quality. So that's just kind of the way it works.
Right.
And then when it comes to actually editing your video, a common mistake that people make, in my opinion, is that they will get a bunch of very nice looking images of wherever they've been, snorkeling, whatnot, and start editing it, and then they pick their favorite song, and then they mute all of the clips that they took, and then put a song over it. And so then it basically turns into a music video. which if you really like that song, that might be fine. It might give you a nice impression of the place. But for me, it tends to be interesting for, 30 seconds, a minute or whatever, and then, okay, there's some pretty images and a nice song, whatever. Make your videos engaging with the audience through your own personal interaction with the audience through the camera. There are certainly different ways to make videos, but if it is travel vlogging, then the person is an integral, essential component of it, and it is interesting to hear that person's opinions, perspective, experience, information, talk to your audience, set up your shots such that you are planning it out as you go along and thinking ahead as far as what you're going to say, what you're trying to convey, setting up where you are, who are you, what are you doing, how long are you traveling for, what do you know about this place, give some tips along the way, how much do things cost, try to pack in a lot of information so that it is more than just a visual experience. It is a learning experience. You are learning about that place, you are learning about that person and how they do it,
yeah,
etc.
Definitely either tell a story, I think, or be informative. And it can be difficult to do both. It's a lot of effort to do all the research and know everything in advance, because sometimes you just end up places. I know I certainly do, and then I'm trying to deliver these tips, which is why I do a lot of voiceovers later. But yeah, you do really well reading the signs on things like at the Joshua Tree in the cactus garden and the warning to not get stuck by the cactuses, which I did, because I didn't read the signs. So.
And this is another good reason to bring a travel guidebook, is so that then as you were walking around a town and giving a tour of that town, then you have a guidebook that tells you what you're looking at. And so you get to a church and you're like, okay, this is a pretty church, but then you can say more than just this is a pretty church. You can look in your book, see when it was built, who constructed it, what a little bit of the history is there.
Right, and that's a good tip for techies like me, because I tend to just think, oh, I'm just gonna look on my phone, any information I need is right there on my phone, but it's not always easy to just get on there and get good enough service and sort through things. And the guidebook is great because you can read it anywhere, here and there, highlight a few things that you want to go back to later.
Yeah, then you don't have the whole internet to peruse.
Right,
then
exactly.
You're just, you're on the page of that town and you can just real quick look there.
Now you travel through so many different towns and countries and cities so quickly. Are you just constantly buying new guidebooks and getting rid of old ones, or do you have a huge backpack that you carry with all of your guidebooks?
No, actually, I only had 2 guidebooks for this last trip. I was in South America for 3 months, went to Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador. I bought a guidebook in Peru for Peru, and so I was there for 7 weeks, and so that came in handy, of course, through the whole trip. And then when I got to Ecuador, I actually found a bookstore that was a used bookstore that bought my old Peru guidebook, and then I found an Ecuador guidebook there, and so I ended up only spending like $6 on a used Ecuador guidebook. And so that's a good
Awesome.
tip, is to find places where you can exchange books. Sometimes you could actually do a just straight up exchange. There will just be a bookshelf with books.
Oh, cool.
You just got to ask, at the hostel or whatever, what is the the deal with these books? Is it just I can read them, or can I actually exchange for them? Or else find a bookstore where you can sell it to them and then buy a used book and then get it for better than $30 at least.
Yeah, definitely. But if you did want to buy some new books, we'll put some Amazon links to great guidebooks that we like.
Right.
What's your favorite brand of guidebook? Lonely Planet?
Rough Guide, and then Lonely Planet after that.
Awesome. Good tip, good tip.
Cool. So different people do different techniques as far as uploading their videos. Some people shoot all of their footage for their trip and then get back home and do their editing and everything there.
That's what I do. It takes forever.
Yeah. And then you have, just the backlog of all this footage that you have to work through. For myself, I prefer to get it done as you're going along. I try to post roughly 1 a day. I'm not consistent with necessarily posting 1 a day because I don't like to constrain myself to that. I like to have the freedom based, for one thing, on wireless internet, whether you actually have it handy, whether it is fast or whatever. You can find wireless all over the world in most places these days. Your hotel will probably offer wireless, or you can find a cafe or whatever. It will be variable speed, certainly, but things are really improving every year. You may want to make considerations based on the wireless speed. Sometimes I've actually downgraded the quality of my video just to be able to upload it.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
Because using the internet is one thing, surfing the internet, but when you're actually uploading a video to YouTube, that takes quite a lot of bandwidth.
Exactly, and it can be outrageous how long it can take. I've been places where a 1 minute little clip might take 12 hours, 14 hours, like literally.
Jeez.
Yeah, like in Indonesia it was especially bad. So that's something to keep in mind. You also might want to make considerations such as make shorter videos.
Right.
But mostly that isn't an issue. In South America, Latin America in general, then the Wi-Fi was pretty good. And so, you know, at worst, maybe it's going to take you a couple of hours to upload that video, but, you know, that's okay. You can let it upload and then go out, wander around, and then come back, and hopefully it's done.
Yeah. Hopefully your computer's still there. Which brings us to your next tip.
So when it comes to keeping in mind the possibility of theft, especially if you're somewhere that is a poor region where you're going to stand out first of all as a foreigner, if you're in Asia, South America. In addition, you are walking around with a camera trying to document things, and so you want to keep in mind the possibility that somebody might you know, want to get that camera of yours. What I've done in the past is, like, if I go out and my main thing is to take video footage, then go out with as little stuff as you can possibly manage to bring, rather than bringing the backpack with a bunch of different things in it. Have like a fanny pack and just have maybe just the one camera that you're planning to vlog with for that day, and then have it you know, around your waist and then in the front there, such that you can take it out easily and then put it back in easily. And so if you're walking through an area that kind of feels sketchy to you, or you're just not filming or whatever, then put it away. And then when you get to another place, then you can take it out, do your thing, and then put it away right away, so that you are not spending the whole day or hours wandering around with a camera around your neck or in your hand that is going to attract attention. And so just kind of keep in mind, all my stuff that I have right now might be gone.
Yeah.
Somebody might, you know, steal it one way or another. And so simplify, have as little cash on you as you possibly can. Don't have your passport on you. And you might want to consider whether you want to bring your most expensive camera on that trip or not. Just keep that in mind. Is it essential to have this big, bulky, awesome camera, or is there something more compact that I can bring that if it gets stolen, it's not as, you know, big of a deal?
It's unfortunate because my Canon EOS, since I bought it, there's just so many situations where I'm like, I just don't think I should bring it today, because there's gonna be beach, there's gonna be water, there's gonna be people, it's gonna be a city, it's gonna get stolen, you know. So sometimes I feel like it's safer at home, but you just have to be prepared to deal with the worst and just not make a target of yourself.
Yeah. Keep
things low key and just be aware all the time. Mm-hmm. Although muggings do happen, how do we handle them when they happen?
Well, in the same vein, it is important to not have all of your most important stuff on you at the same time. Don't have all of your credit cards, all of your cash, all of your most important stuff, your passport, with you in one place, so that if that gets stolen, then you're, you know, totally screwed. But have things separated. Have one bank card with you, one back in the hotel. Have some cash back in the hotel, and then some cash on you, so that if the you know, the worst happens, then you still have something to fall back on. You know, if you have two cameras, maybe just take one with you if it is a kind of a sketchy area, so that you don't, you know, lose your entire operation in the course of one theft.
And we have found that a great camera to use when you're trying to be undercover and just super, super discreet is either the GoPro or the Polaroid Cube, because they're so small. I mean, you could just have it in your hand and no one even knows you have it in your hand. So just the discretion on that level is good. Although with the GoPro, it has that blinking light. Yeah,
which I definitely plan to block up when I get around to it.
Yeah.
So that it isn't so obvious.
Yeah, I've got the blackout housing, which is, you know, one of the waterproof housings, but it's matte black, and then it comes with some stickers that you can put in the LCD screen to block it. I'm going to give you one of those stickers hikers.
cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on.
All right, well, thank you, Gabriel, for these amazing travel video production tips. I hope they've inspired some of my viewers to get out there and make travel videos, because they can learn a lot about that on my channel. It's kind of my specialty. And they can definitely watch some travel videos on your channel, Gabriel Traveler.
Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.
Happy trails!
Happy trails. Right on.
Very good.
Good job.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
These are gonna be
You did
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna get
It's
you
definitely
lots
going to
of-
take a fair amount of editing, chopping things up
Yeah.
and whatever, but
At least it's
it's easier than the usual kind.